Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. It's another terrific, thankful Tuesday's edition of Talk Today. Yeah, it may feel like Thursday. It may even feel like 2030, but it's still 2020. And we get a chance to celebrate even Christmas this year. Hasn't been taken from us yet. 949-8037 is that non-toll free line. We want you to share with us as we invite our good friends from what I used to call Pedro. We're going to call all sorts of things. We're going to have fun. Miss Mona Lisa Mead is going to be part of our studio guest. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome, and thanks for joining us. Christmas at the Castle sounds like something you want to celebrate in West Bay, but it's even better. You get to be up in, what I think is probably one of the favorite parts of the country, not just when you include Cayman, but all together. Well, Ms. Mona Lisa Mead, thank you very much for joining us, you and your team over the Tourism Attraction Board, for again sharing with us. It's a beautiful setting you have over there in
Thank
Pedro.
you for having us. And yes, we do believe that Pedro is beautiful. And thanks for including Kim Bracken, Little Cayman in there, as a bracket to the bone. Throw that little thing in there. Well, let me introduce the team. As you were mentioning, yes. Adriana Turner here is our administrative assistant out at Pedro St. James. She works with events, coordination, and site rentals. But a lot of other jobs. But in this capacity for the Christmas at the Castle event, Miss Adriana is working with our performers for the concert or the variety show that we'll be having, and she's our stage manager for this event coming up on Sunday. Also with us today is Mr. Dario Rivers, who is the brand manager for Coca-Cola in the Cayman Islands, working out of Tortuga Distributors Limited, and Coca-Cola and the Ministry of Culture are our two main sponsors. We'd love to have the minister here today, but we know he's super busy on some other, probably more pressing things happening today, but we also just want to give him a little shout out, Minister Seymour of the Ministry of Culture, for their sponsorship, and thanks Dario for being here.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Well, I'm always excited. I think even this year, maybe more so than ever this year, I love Christmas. I don't profess to be able to sing. I would always try to jest and say I couldn't carry a tune in a wheelbarrow, but I would sing Christmas carols all year round.
I'll give you the tambourine. You can make some music, that's all.
Yeah, a tambourine. Better what Susan offered, a tambourine switch, but that's a different story. But no, and it's something about Christmas, the Christmas breeze, the whole notion of eating certain foods, the fun, the fellowship. I think being up at Pedro makes it even more special in some respects.
Well, we believe that Pedro St. James has a lot of things to offer in this capacity for Christmas at the Castle, this is our second one. Last year was a little smaller, and as you might be guessing, it's growing a little bit. Even in this particularly strange year, we've managed to grow it with the support of our sponsors. Last year we didn't have any. We just wanted to do a give back event, and we're doing the same thing again, and that's why it's a free admission event. But what Pedro offers, specifically speaking to that Christmas breeze, is that wide open space where we feel comfortable that people will be able to come out again in this time and feel, that we have significant space for people to kind of spread out but still enjoy local talent, local food, local crafts, art, specialty items, and of course a special visit by Santa Claus. So we think that along with the outside night, we do hope and pray that we have a great night under the stars. But Pedro really is a premier location for all sorts of events, especially this one.
Honestly, I mean, it is nice whether it's a wedding reception, whether you just park in a parking lot sometimes and just look out. Something majestic about the sea. But Dario, from the perspective, we see events like this, and it is not just the sponsors that come on board. It's not just the partnerships with helping to make events like this free through the underwriting, but there's something even more to it. With you and Coca-Cola, what are you bringing to the table this time around?
Well, yeah. So, where do I start? With Coca-Cola, I mean, we've been with the brand for about 1.5 years now with Tortuga. I've started with the company at the same time, and ever since then, this particular thing, to your point, is something we've been working on since day one. And I would love to share it with everyone now, but in the interest of building the anticipation and hype, here we are talking with you. So if you're listening, come out on Sunday, 6 to 9. We have something very special in store for the Cayman people, specifically for the Cayman people. As a Caymanian myself, I'm very proud to bring this to the table, and I cannot wait to share it with everyone. Yeah, man. Well,
Miss Mona Lisa, we have dual citizenship, we're West Bay and Caymanian. Exactly. She's a Caymanian and a Caymanian, so it's just kind of...
Actually, I come from West Bay, Easton, Weston, I'm all around
Let's be honest, we're all chameleons in this room.
There it is, man. But I was sort of saying that to sort of segue into Adriana's invitation to join us in the discussion. Looking at entertainment and looking at not just the talent that is within our shores, but the amount of different possibilities to have, whether different churches, musical groups, different talented people come in and represent genres from abilities, poetry, comedians, to even talk show hosts. I mean, we can be fun at times. So share with us, give us a little teaser on that sense.
I've been given the task to go out and recruit, performers, and I was able to get some of Cayman finest. Okay, so we have UCCI Steel Band, UCCI Dancers. We have Michelle T, Andrea Rivera, just to name a few, Dexter Borden, Junior Hines, and the William Quartet. They're 5 now, so I don't know what goes after 5.
Yeah,
Quintet.
Yeah, I was gonna
Quintet. There you go. Thank you.
Quartet plus 1. No, but that just shows you how things grow and mature, and more people gravitate towards it. And even the Williams Quartet, at some point they literally grow up, get children and grandchildren,
up
and
to adults, right.
So you never know when they might be. But
there's so many possibilities for so many performers to come out in this event. Although we're trying to pack it all in 3 hours from 6 to 9 p.m. So we wish we could have many more people on board. But this is a good opportunity then to kind of switch out entertainers over the years as well. Of course, bring in people who would be backed by popular demand as well, like the Williams Quintet now, I guess.
Quartet plus 1.
Yeah, Quartet plus 1. But as you mentioned earlier, I think Miss Adriana did a great job bringing together a lot of different performers from all walks of performances. You're welcome. With the dance and the steel band and musicians, violin, instrumentalists, as well as choirs and
saxophone.
There you go. So there's still quite a lot of performers. She hadn't mentioned all of them actually, we were looking forward to this fun Christmas concert, and we call it a variety show or concert, Christmas at the Castle. Everything kind of in everything sort of mashed into one, so to speak. Right. And what we do like about this especially is that this is an event that is on a Sunday evening. So because it's a Christmas event, it's also being held this year on Cayman Thanksgiving, lest we forget. Don't want to forget that. So it's bringing together a mesh of Caymanian traditions with the different types of food. Like we'll have turtle meat and conch fritters, and we'll have fish dinner and different like tamarind juice and things like that people can actually come out to. If you hadn't had it all year round, you'll be able to get it there. But also a mesh of other genres, like the JA1 ministry group, which is a Filipino group from...
yes, what they do, they put on the gloves. You have to turn off all the lights, and then they'll do these different, signs to the dance. It's
They're
amazing.
using a
Yeah.
black light where their
Yeah.
hands glow, and it's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
interesting.
If you haven't seen that, it's amazing.
Absolutely, and they do praise and worship. So again, it is. You will hear country songs. You will hear all in the Christmas theme, of course, but from country to gospel to Christmas hymns and everything in between. But we just wanted to be able to bring everyone, a wide variety of people, from the child to the grandparent, out to enjoy just sort of the kickoff to the Christmas season. A long, hard year. We've had a long, hard year. TAB and Peter want to do a give back. Coca-Cola is on board. The Ministry of Culture is on board. And we really want to be able to help people to get into the spirit after a long, hard year, So we think this is going to work.
Well, that's the thing, we look at what the year is, not what it was.
Right.
And we always look with promise and expectation of what the year ahead may be. But nobody knows for sure. So why not, as you say, get into the spirit now, recognize and reflect, but be, with jubilant expectation as to what will come. And maybe when we come out from the break, you guys can share more. We'll do our best, Miss Mona Lisa, to teaser, Mr. Dario. What may be this big unveiling.
I'll challenge people to go to our Facebook page right now, Peter St. James Castle Facebook page, and take a look at the teasing video. You will be, I think, intrigued.
Yeah, that's a good way to spend your break.
All right, let's do that to the Peter St. James Facebook page. And let's make it interesting. The person that can come closest to guessing what it is, right? They can get their absentee ballot already, and I'll vote for him immediately.
Can we give him a cake?
We'll see. We'll see. I can probably do that.
All right, well,
That can be arranged.
That can be arranged, right? We've seen the video and we've made our guesses. Susan thinks it's the unveiling of a statue to honor Miss Norma. I'm thinking it's just a good fish dinner, but we'll see. All right, we're going to pause and take a break, but if you got a question or comment, you want to be a part of our conversation, well, give us a call, and if we like how your voice sounds, we'll answer it. No, that's kidding. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
For information that matters to you, the people. Hear from the government, the opposition, independents, and other experts on issues and solutions that affect you. For the record. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, tune into 89.9 and 93.9 FM from 7:30 to 9 a.m. for Cayman's new Straight Talk Morning Show. For the record.
I invite you to join me for the record. You are invited to be a part of this interesting and informative show. Embrace the opportunity to dialogue with your legislators, policymakers, and those charged with policy implementation.
For the record. Brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors.
Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Spring into action with your education goals at UCCI in the spring 2021 semester. Start or continue your degree, take a short course, complete professional training, or your technical vocational studies. New students apply through the online application portal by December 4th. Visit ucci.edu.ky/admission. Call 623-8224 or you can email admission@ucci.edu.ky to get started.
Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now? Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for letting me live, love, and laugh with you, and trust and pray that your day is going good and getting better. I know mine. I'm surrounded by excellent people, and as each guest exit and others come in, the day gets better and better.
Well, thank you, sir.
Miss Mona Lisa Mead.
We'll take it.
There you go. That's Dario Rivers, the brand manager over at Tortuga Distributors for Coca-Cola. And of course, back in the day, some would say she was an excellent football player, volleyball champion, but she was just always a cheerleader and a champion. It's Adriana Turner. You guys are a great team. You bring a lot of joy and camaraderie to our studio, but you also bring the professionalism and experience. And I think that invitation for us as a family to come Sunday and relax. I mean, I can even let my hair down a little bit.
You
know
can. You don't have to worry about it, right? And just let it blow in the wind.
I let it down so much now. It's just all blowing. So 6 o'clock on this Sunday evening?
This Sunday, the 6th of December, which is also Cayman Thanksgiving Day. So this is a good time now after you have your nice lunch, with your family and your friends. You can come out and enjoy a Christmas event, a Christmas at the Castle, a Christmas under the stars, with Coca-Cola and the Ministry of Culture and the Tourism Attraction Board. And, of course, all at Pedro St. James. One aspect that I would be remiss of me to talk about is the fundraising raffle. You kind of touched on it earlier. We're trying to raise a walkway for money or funds for a wheelchair-accessible walkway, which would lead from the gift shop or visitor center all the way to the Great House. This has been something that our operations manager, Ms. Debbie Bodden, has been working on for quite a while. And with this year, most things went on pause. We were hoping to have that done by this year, end of this year. But with everything going on pause, as I mentioned, we said, let this be the first of our fundraising events that would sort of kick off raising funds throughout the year. And hopefully by this time next year, we'll be all done with this accessible walkway or wheelchair accessible walkway. It's important for us to do this because we understand the wealth of knowledge and the importance and the history of this National Historic Site and the people who would have remembered Pedro St. James before it was this new renovated building, and new 25 years, relatively new, comparatively to what it was in the olden days. Let's call it olden days. So we know that we have quite a few people who come out, especially like events like Miss Heather has every Christmas. Miss Heather Bodden up in Boddentown always has a Christmas event for the seniors, and some of them can't manage getting out to the castle. We'd like to make sure that they can do that. So this is a fundraising event. As well as a give back, so to speak, to our members of our community, just sharing ourselves on stage and dance and food and drink and just kind of that using that fellowship that Caymanians are well known for.
And this is I think where we look at some of our own spaces and our sites, our national attractions, and as a people we don't always reach out and embrace it and enjoy it. Here you have a free event on a particular day in a season that for us is to be celebrated. I think, Ms. Adriana, your lineup of talent for the evening is not just indicative of what we have representing the country, but it's probably a good way for all of us. There's always something for somebody to come out and enjoy it. If you want to hear the singing the song, I mean, I particularly enjoy Dexter Bodden singing, but then, I think Vashti Bodden is there.
Vashti,
she's amazing.
Yeah. Andrea Rivera. We also have the Cayman Islands folk singers, courtesy of National Cultural Foundation.
And I mean, Dario will be doing a single too,
Hey, I mean,
he'll be.
Let me know.
I'll be cheering him on.
So you playing the tambourine and he'll play the guitar.
No, I got to play the radio. I got to play the radio. Name the recorder.
You play the radio, turn it up and down.
Oh man! But I think you shared earlier with the setting itself. Whether it's the young couple celebrating a special occasion, maybe it's the anniversary, or whether it's the family, with their children. You have enough space. The setting itself is conducive to everybody associating and socializing and then leaving renewed with a sense of what Christmas is. I don't know, something about looking out over there. The only thing I say to people, you're not looking far enough towards West Bay, but it's okay, you're looking in that direction. It's not too
Still
bad.
beautiful blue Cayman waters, right?
Oh, absolutely gorgeous.
One thing I'd like to mention is that we will have the RCIPS out to assist us with parking and ensuring that we're, complying with our social distancing protocols. As everyone knows, we can have up to 500 people right now, and we're trying to make sure that that is, taken care of. But we don't want to discourage people from coming out. It is a 3-hour event. You can come and go. You can, come and stay the whole time.
And it's open air.
It is open air, and we really want people to come out and just enjoy what's there. And again, this is a time to really see a lot of local talent. Adriana, again, she has done such a great job putting everything together and making sure that it's happening. We have, can you tell them, Mr. Brent McLean will be there doing sound. So
yes, we want to thank Brent for falling in at the last minute to, volunteer to come and help us set up the sound and to help us organize, with the lineup.
And I appreciate you sharing that too, because we see always the people on behind the mic, the front of the stage as it is, but people like Brent, who are very, very talented both behind the mic, but the engineering, the sound and everything else, those are the crucial people. The stage manager making sure everything flows, to everybody organizing the necessary funding, to get admissions, to just to secure it. Everybody has an incredibly responsible role to play. This one is the face to make sure the invitation is given with love. So it happens.
Well, thank you very much. On behalf of the Director of Tourism Attraction Board and the Operations Manager of Pedro St. James, we thank you,
you guys
for giving us this time.
It's truly important, I think, and the drive for some of us, whether we come in next door because we live right down, down the street, or whether we're going to drive a little bit further, it's never far. And it's always, especially on a Sunday afternoon, always a wonderful way to spend for the family. With that though, you talked about the raffle prizes and the like. Thanks for sharing some of the insights with us, but they're teasers. I mean, you got restaurants.
I didn't say that it's only $5 a ticket. Now we next year we might do things a little bit differently as we grow. We may actually have tickets that we can sell prior to. If this can continue to be a fundraising event, we will do that. However, we're only asking people to come and purchase the tickets on the event, on the night of the event. It's only $5. We're very cognizant of there's still people who are struggling, either underemployed or not employed currently. So we wanted, again, a free event, a small number for a raffle ticket, and the opportunity to win one of 53 prizes from 29 different retailers over, all throughout the island. So I can say that we have, if you don't mind,
sure.
The grand prize is actually a 43-inch LED TV from Cost You Less. We want to thank them for that. And then Moritz Tortuga Resort 2-night stay up in Moritz as well as their second prize. Believe it or not, the TV was more expensive. Imagine that.
Actually, it
I'm
comes
looking
with
for the second prize. But we all, High Tide, I have to give them all my gratitude, because they've actually donated 13 different or 12 different a dozen different CDs of local musicians, local music that will be given out, will be raffled off. We have Thomason Furniture, Jesse's Juice Bar, Cayman Turtle Center, South Coast Restaurant. So I could go on, but generally a lot of retailers, restaurants, Kirk Freeport's in there, some service industry businesses as well. We're just really thankful, because with these 29 businesses who've given us donations of prizes, we're able to have over $2,600 worth of prizes. So buy 5 tickets, buy 10 tickets, buy 100 tickets. That's okay. We take it. Only $5 a ticket, and you don't have to be there at the event to win. Once you put your number on the back of the ticket, we'll be able to.
And the beautiful part too, now you talk about putting in an accessible ramp for us, whether it's the person in the wheelchair, whether it's the person with the child in the stroller, whether for whatever reason you're otherwise ambulatory, but walking up the stairs is a little bit challenging as opposed to a gradual ramp. But the other thing, as you share, with the greatest of deference to everything and everyone, this could be a community sort of contribution in an event, as opposed to the $2 million boardwalk that is there just for some. Here is a community project for little
it's
nothing.
for everyone.
For everyone, right? So,
yeah,
no, man.
we want it to be for everyone.
Yeah.
And again, like, as you mentioned, from child to the elderly,
Yeah.
Peter St. James attracts every single person across all genres, no matter the nationality. And we want this event to be the same.
Exactly.
Where you come out and enjoy something from every little walk of life, every bit of genre of music. Again, just with the Christmas theme.
Mm-hmm.
We want to share the magic.
Share the magic.
So
touche.
With the sharing, I mean, I'm just thinking, she must be just dropping the little hints. Come on, Mr. Dario.
No, I mean, the one thing I will say for all the listeners and for us here in the room is, Coca-Cola, we're 100% entirely about human connection, togetherness. That's the entire meaning of Christmas in general anyway. What we want to do, and that's a formula we want to stay true to. And this gesture, token of our appreciation to the Cayman people, this is kind of what we're trying to do to say, hey, thank you very much. We know, to Mona's point before, this has been a hard year. I think this will bring a sense of togetherness and belonging to the Caymanian people specifically. And to everyone really, but I mean, specifically for our Caymanian people, I want to really show our gratitude to everything that we've gone through and will continue to go through for the foreseeable future.
Together, stronger, and we can be, I don't know, it's something about being by the water, something about being in the water, and don't want anybody to draw any inferences, but for me, if you outside, that itself is great, but if you're outside in the salt air, so to speak, that's even better, because there's a taste to it, there's a sense of, healing.
I was just
that
going to
comes
say
from
healing.
Mentally, physical, it's just a belief, but that's
why
powerful.
People want to come here.
Yeah.
They want to get what we have, what we probably take for granted sometimes. But I hope that people do remember what we have and cherish it, including the National Historic Site, Peter St. James. Didn't mean that to be a segue, but I agree with you that being outside and being around nature does help heal us.
And the elevation there helps a lot too, because the breeze come over and it goes up down the shore, and you come, you feel it. So I think the music and the entertainment, the family and the fellowship.
Well, if it was anything like last year's event, it was a gentle, nice breeze, starry night. It was really good last year, and I'm really.
Well, you're welcome, because we got some Vespers to go there and just talk. And as they were talking, the breeze just kept blowing on shore. They were practicing their camping.
Right. I know you want some hints, Dwayne, but I'm speaking very vaguely. But that's just my way of building the hype and anticipation. You got to come out 6 to 9 on Sunday. That's where you got to be. For everyone listening.
Well, I think you have forgotten to mention that you will have a few giveaways as well.
Yeah, we'll have a few giveaways. Again, more things that I want to save for the day. But please do come out for that. I mean, we'll have a lot of exciting things to offer. We'll have a lot of tents. We're working with Tom Foodery as well for a lot of exciting things with them. And exciting new partnership with their fire line.
Chef
those
Thomas
guys,
and those guys.
Yeah, Thomas Tennant and Jonathan Nunez. They're great guys. Just to kind of go off in a different direction to
well, he got Chelsea behind him, so it'll be good.
Deflect from all the Coca-Cola teaser attention.
Well, I would even try to deflect further, but I wouldn't. I leave the political say giveaways. You got a lot of people can give you. We pay to take them, but we leave it for now.
Right.
But as we wrap up our discussion, Miss Mona, the time is always yours. I know you got many things to get back. Want to take the break and come back and share some more, or
Absolutely.
you want to call?
If you want to give me that time, I will take it.
It's always yours, I think
we're here.
Having Dario with us is great, and then of course Adriana can remind us of, all that entertainment. All right, let's pause and take a short break, and when we come back, more talk today.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
By popular demand to serve our valued customers, Puritan Cleaners has revised its schedule for all 3 locations effective immediately. Monday to Saturdays, Eastern Avenue from 7:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Elgin Avenue from 8 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Savannah Countryside 10 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Your orders may be transferred to any other Puritan store to suit your working and shopping needs. Let us help you to be ready for those special events coming up. Call 949-7104. Puritan Cleaners, you feel good when you look good.
King Sports Center takes pride in being more than just an ordinary gymnasium. For 14 years, their multi-purpose facility has been providing the community with a variety of sporting, recreational, and relaxation activities. King Sports Center has a bowling alley, lounge bar, multi-purpose rooms, powerhouse gym, rock climbing wall, bungee jumping, a 10,000 square foot rink, and so much more. For more information on the variety of services, call their friendly staff today at 946-5464 or email kings@candw.ky or visit www.kingsportscenter.com. King Sports Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us. And truly, I'm honored and privileged and genuinely blessed to be able to sit in this chair each day to live a little, love a lot, and to experience what I think is the best place in the world. And I have the opportunity now to invite, on behalf of the Tourism Attractions Board, Pedro St. James, Christmas at the Castle. Miss Mona Lisa.
Just as if you're just tuning in and you're just hearing it, we're hosting Pedro St. James and Tourism Attraction Board, along with our main sponsors, the Ministry of Culture and Coca-Cola Tortuga Distributors Limited brand. We'll be putting on Christmas at the Castle this Sunday. It's a celebration under the stars. For the lack of a better term, it's a variety concert which will be themed all Christmas. We'll have Santa Claus. You can come out and take a photo with Santa Claus who'll be visiting. We'll have surprises, as Mr. Rivers mentioned just now. A few surprises.
There's a
Can't
few.
say anything. Only 4 days left. He again remind me just now to make sure that people take a look at the Pedro St. James Castle Facebook page so you can take a look at that video, and hopefully it'll be intriguing to you and allow you to want to come out. This event is not only a way to support local vendors. We have lots of food and drink on sale, as well as artists. We'll have Michelle Illustrations, Miss Martha Flores will be there, Ollie will be there, if you know who they are, Ollie. Miss June Lee Marmee will be there. We'll have coconut, we'll have cassava cake, and Miss Delva Watler will be there with exquisite edibles. All of her lovely baked goods that I can't eat because I'm on a diet right now. So many wonderful things to do and come out. Coca-Cola will have their own booths. It'll be completely dressed for Christmas. As you know, Coca-Cola has always been aligned with Christmas, so this worked really well for their, I guess, envisioning what they wanted out of this event, and just making sure that everyone will have a good time. Again, this Sunday, the 6th of December, from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Pedro St. James Castle on the Great Lawn. It's Christmas at the Castle. We will have a fundraising raffle, only $5 a ticket. I'm trying to think, over $2,600 worth of value
free admission.
prizes. Free admission, yes. Free admission for your families. Ample space. We're hoping that people will, feel comfortable out in the open air. And just really have a wonderful kickoff to this beautiful Christmas season that I am absolutely excited for. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for Christmas. I'm so ready for Christmas.
Let's not forget the MC, Woody DaCosta.
Yes, and his wife is from Savannah area, correct? So he will be there. Of course, he'll always talk about his West Bay lineage, I guess, but he'll be supporting the Savannah crowd up there.
He has his Savannah roots too. So,
So lots of fun, and we hope that people come out and support the performances, and the food is on sale and drink on sale. And our ticket sales for our fundraising walk or fundraising raffle with the aim to building a wheelchair accessible walkway at Pedro. It's a lot to remember, I think. But
you come and be a part of it, and it's going to go quickly. I mean, if I might ask though, Miss Adriana, as sort of stage manager for the evening, you've got this phenomenal talent. And some is a quartet plus one, so you've got many. Then you've got the folk singers, and then you've got the UC but you've got all these. It's not just one person, and it's not just one act. You got to shuffle them stage right, stage left, on and off, and coordinating.
Throughout the night we'll have dancers, we'll have instruments, vocals, large groups, small groups, children. The children we'll put in the first part of the program. so they can get to bed early. Right. And then we'll leave the adults for later.
I can see the children taking their parents, so the parents get a bit early. No, but that's the thing. It's so much, and then if you're there, whether you focus on the entertainment, or whether you're mingling and tasting the food, seeing all that's happening, it's always there. Yeah, I can see just in my mind where they have the stage set up. The music, the sound is always going to be very, very present as you move about the grounds.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
One last thing you didn't mention, was a tree lighting ceremony.
That's what I was going to
All right, go right ahead.
I think around 7 we'll have a tree lighting ceremony. So we'll have a countdown, and also just to let you know, the place is nicely decorated and being decorated more than last year.
Wow. Nice red and white lights I saw.
Red and white.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Again, that was Miss Debbie Barton, our operation manager. She's like, if Coca-Cola's supporting us, we're gonna make sure it's red and white.
Red and white.
You go.
We're grateful.
Yes.
We're going the extra mile this year,
Okay, so red and white for Christmas. See, because I had a friend who was driving by there last night or the other night, and he was stopping and going, it's red light, green light, red light. So I just for you. The youth group days.
I'll take it.
No, but it's going to be fun. And I think this is probably something that we all need, because this has been a challenging year in many respects. And I don't downplay it, dismiss it. Hopefully no one feels disrespected. And sometimes it's hard. You're going to, for whatever reason, but I believe for nothing else than for your own sense of well-being and your mental health. Just get out in the fresh air. Just allow yourself, it's 3 hours, well, maybe you want to have an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Just come out for a little bit and be reminded of why, you're so blessed.
Yeah, it's like Mona said, with free admission, there's no reason for you not to come and take part. And, as Cayman this is a great time. Christmas, coming together and spending time together. Coca-Cola is ecstatic to be a part of the event. We cannot wait to show you what we have to offer on that day.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, it's a good Christmas present. I call Johan, and he's buying tickets for everybody for their Christmas present.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Free admission. So that's what he's giving them.
Yes.
You can give him my number. We'll sort him out. We'll order the tickets.
No, just kidding. Oh, but it's going to be fun. And I really commend you all for doing this. The partnership, I think, works well. But the setting is just phenomenal.
Yeah, we're very excited.
I will leave you with this.
Mm-hmm.
If you come out and you see what's there, maybe you'll walk away sharing the magic.
There, that. You know what? I was gonna say some more, but Mona just stole the show. That takes the cake.
I'm thinking, more and more now. What is this thing? And we could even have a guess between now and then, but we'll leave it next.
I was gonna reveal it, but now she said that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Come and share the magic.
Yeah.
Share
6 to 9
in the magic, and then walk away so you can share some magic when you leave.
That makes you want to know what it is even more now, eh? Well, the secret's well kept. I can tell you who knows, but then I won't be doing that. I don't know for sure, but we'll find out come Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
It'll be revealed at 8:59 p.m.
No. Around 7. I should say we're inviting, and we hope they attend, the Deputy Governor, the Premier and Minister for Culture, Mr. Seymour, as a sponsor, obviously. And we hope that they will be there. We really do. We know they're busy. So that Coca-Cola can present them officially with what they have to offer, and then it will spill into the community.
Yeah.
Spill into
It will spill into the community. I'm telling
unintended.
Sunday, come out for the big reveal.
No pun intended.
There's been a lot of subliminal puns integrated into this conversation today.
See, that's the beautiful part.
Just got to be paying attention.
Yeah. Phone a friend, get a clue. No, but that's the beautiful thing, conversation and wordplay. And then the evening, and perhaps come, but not even Monday morning, but just later out, people will say, "Oh, that's what they meant." So who knows? And they may be the next champions of quiz night. You can tell.
There you go.
All right. Well, I want to just maybe quickly invite you for some final thoughts. Perhaps, Miss Adriana, if you want to share some more about entertainment and the lineup, if you wish. Dario, of course, talk more about it. And then Miss Mona Lisa, give us the another wonderful invitation. But
let's not forget, Santa will be there taking photos.
He's on that this year.
Our children and family can take photos with Santa.
Santa will be taking photos.
There'll be social distancing, but we have it all figured out how to get it done.
Yeah, man. He'll be all right. He'll keep you warm. So Santa and then Carol singing, I think. Tree lighting.
Tree lighting.
All entertainment.
Food and drink.
Wow.
Artifacts.
Could we make it
Fresh
tomorrow
salt
instead?
air, cool sea breeze, Christmas.
Let's just make it a week-long event, right?
See,
Yeah.
When I become governor, from the 23rd of December to about the 6th or 7th
I like the
of
use
January.
of the word when.
Yeah, well.
I think he's talking about his vacation.
That's what I'm in charge of.
Yeah.
No, man, no. But Sunday, then, God's willing, we'll be out there enjoying ourselves. And Dario, your partnership.
We're thrilled. Coca-Cola's thrilled to be a part of this event. As many of you that can come out, please come out. We are very excited to share this experience with you. This is a new chapter for us at Tortuga and Coca-Cola, and a new chapter for the Cayman people as well. I mean, you'll know what I mean when you show up on Sunday. We're excited.
So let me
share the magic.
Share the magic. Well, let me remind you, Christmas at the Castle is at Peter St. James this Sunday, the 6th of December, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Everything starts at 6. Try to get there. Adriana's going to make sure it starts on time.
And
it's for everyone. It's a free admission. It is a fundraising. We will be having a fundraising raffle. Only $5 a ticket. Over $2,600 worth of prizes. And we really hope that you come out and support our national historic site, and also the performers, and again the food vendors, and Coca-Cola, the Ministry of Culture, and all of the staff who put in all the hard work.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you very much for the entire Pedro team. I can't tell you how busy they are. Just all I can say is I'm very grateful, especially Miss Adriana, who's done quite a lot with this performance. The performers putting everything together, and Coca-Cola and Ministry, again, we thank them along with some other smaller sponsors, but we're very thankful.
Very grateful for that partnership. And Dario will be signing autographs for everybody, so not a problem. Get them now.
Oh, God, you're too kind.
But listen, I'm glad that you guys could join us for a bit, and especially to start to not just share and invite into the Christmas spirit, but for this year in particular, for people to look at what we've experienced, with, positive expectation for what is to come, and hopefully not only be able to endure it, but we can embrace, what's around us. So, thanks very much.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Can't wait to share the magic with you on Sunday.
Share the magic on Sunday, 6 to 9 with Pedro. I'm going to pause and going to take a break. When we come back, we ask you to rejoin us. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
Attention Caymanians, the registration deadline for the 2021 elections is January 4th. Caymanians turning 18 on or before the May 26 election may register now.
Every vote will count in our May 2021 general election.
In order to vote in the 2021 elections, you must register by the 4th of January. For more information, visit elections.ky or the elections office at Baytown Office Suites opposite the Wharf Restaurant.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. As of yesterday, 8 positives for COVID-19 from the 503 tests carried out. 6 are asymptomatic and 2 have symptoms. The individuals are all travelers who returned positive test results following routine screening. They will remain in isolation until considered recovered. In international news, COVID-19 could be causing lung abnormalities still detectable more than 3 months after patients are infected, researchers suggest. A study of 10 patients at Oxford University used a novel scanning technique to identify damage not picked up by conventional scans. It uses a gas called xenon during MRI scans to create images of lung damage. China has successfully put another probe on the moon. Its robotic Chang'e 5 mission touched down a short while ago with the aim of collecting samples of rock and dust to bring back to Earth. The venture has targeted Mons Rumker, a high volcanic complex in a near-side region known as Oceanus Procellarum. China has accused Australia of trying to deflect public attention from alleged war crimes by its soldiers in Afghanistan after Canberra expressed outrage over a, quote, repugnant tweet. Australia wants China to apologize for sharing a fake image of an Australian soldier killing an Afghan child. Beijing has now said that Australia was trying to, quote, blame China for the worsening of bilateral ties. Relations between the two nations have plummeted to a new low in recent days. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Your voice, your choice, your radio.
Country classics.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
On the road again.
They're gonna put me in the movies.
Papa Top again.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso.
Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Well, I love
country classics.
Young love, first love.
You never count your money when you're sitting at the table.
If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
In the Mississippi cotton picking Delta town.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Just walk on by.
Wait on the corner.
Country classics.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us as we invite you to be a part of our discussion. Let me be sensitive to how much paper we print and try to use the electronic, gizmos and gadgets that they give me at times as we invite our guests from UCCI to talk about what I think is absolutely crucial to the complete development of our country. So we have the admissions manager. Not going to say it. It's Camille Angel, right? I mean, she's an angel without question. But
Thank you.
And she brought along her colleague, the admissions officer, Ashley Smith-Phipps. Ladies, thanks so much. And I think maybe in this time and in this season, in particular in this year, the gift of education could be one of the greatest gifts we give someone. The sense of empowerment, the sense of being uplifted, the sense that they can gain greater independence. But even if it's nothing else, if they're not looking for academic progress, if they're not looking for advancement in the workplace, just for their own edification, you have this thing. It's a course, professional course. Maybe it's certification. Maybe it's that degree that you've always wanted, and you may have 50 more besides that, but wanted this one. It doesn't matter. It may be your first one. So education.
Most certainly. And I agree, especially given the time that we've all had. It's been a difficult year in 2020 for most of us. And reflecting back on that and thinking about how we can make 2021 potentially the best year for us. And moving forward, I think, is especially important to many people, and retooling and reskilling and being able to advance your education is a great opportunity for anyone who's looking at a fresh start in 2021.
That's the thing to know. I mean, Ms. Ashley, from that perspective, when you look at a student in the traditional class, even the traditional student, way back when it was just clipboard and slide rule when I was in school. Susan tell me when she goes now, it's robots teaching on whiteboards and scale. Whatever that classroom looks like, whether you're somewhere comfortably seated in your favorite spot with the clothing of choice, or whether you're in a classroom with other students, gives you this is the time to embrace. So the UCCI, whether it's teaching and learning remotely or jointly with mixed lessons, schooling is important, right?
Very much important. It's got me where I am today.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So sorry.
No,
it's gotten me where I am today because I have an associate's in accounting. So, I mean, it's progressed me in knowing where I come from high school and where I have actually gotten now at this point.
And that's, can be from that perspective, as Ashley was sharing. Too many of us look at education, well, that's the thing you do when, when we graduate high school, or, maybe we want to pursue it when we get, at this stage in our family or our careers. But what I say, the longest journey starts with a single step. So if we do it now,
it's true, and it's a lifelong learning journey. We really encourage that at UCCI, and we encourage people at all stages to consider pursuing their education. So whether you're looking at a technical vocational class that we offer, maybe it's electrical, maybe it's plumbing, or whether you're looking at a professional development course, we offer a whole suite of options through our professional development center, and also customized training for employers who might be interested in tooling their team up with some new skills. We also have a variety of classes that are coming out in the spring, so anywhere from business basics to QuickBooks, which is always well subscribed, and quite a few other options that I know we'll mention. We have so many options for students. There are associate programs that we offer. There are also bachelor programs.
Yeah, we do also have the certificate programs, and especially social work if anyone's interested, hospitality, computer technician, the electrotechnology as well. It is that we are offering any specific classes that students want to even talk to us about. If they want to get a career assessment with us, then we can even just sit down with them, look at what options that they may have as well.
We have a really wide variety of programs, so those are mostly contained on our website, but if there's something that you're not seeing that you're looking for, as Ashley mentioned, you can definitely get in touch with us and contact us at admissions@ucci.edu.ky or call us. We'll reiterate our phone number and everything towards the conclusion of the interview, but what is really nice is knowing that you do have these options so close to home, and we have such a wide variety. Our spring schedules have been released as well, so those are available on our website for anyone who's looking at even taking one course in the spring. Maybe there's a topic of interest for you, maybe it's accounting, maybe there's something else that you're interested in, and we can always guide you. And like Ashley mentioned, there's a huge variety of programs.
Someone was sharing with me that let's say the traditional student, the teenager enters high school. Oh yeah, there's 4 more years, 5 more years, 7 more, whatever the timeline is, and then there is this achievement, this attainment. Well, it's similar with your, sort of postgraduate studies, or whether it's your tertiary education. It may not be today and then tomorrow. It may be today and 5 years, but gradual. Now, to make that journey, obviously we have to apply. What's the deadline? What's the application process like? Tell us so we know.
Sure. So our deadline for new prospective students is the 4th of December. So all you have to do is go online to our website, www.ucci.edu.ky, and take a look at our admissions tab and click the Apply Now button, which is bright yellow, so you definitely won't miss it. And if you want to take a look at our programs, or if you want to speak to us, you can also do that. Our phone number is
623-8224, and if you press on one of the numbers, which is 2, that would get you directly to us.
Yeah, so just get right in touch with us if you have any questions about the programs, but go ahead, complete that online application. We have an online application portal which allows students to upload all of their documents remotely, and if you're a little bit uncertain about what documents are required, it actually generates a customized checklist based on the program that you're interested in. So whether you're thinking about taking, maybe you decide that you want to take a professional development course, and that's something that you want to take for a few weeks, maybe a 7-week course, or if you want to join us for an entire semester, which is about 3.5 months or so.
Yeah, about 14 weeks to be very exact.
Yes, and Ashley is super exact when it comes to
What is she studying?
She's very concise. So if you're interested in any of those options with us, just go ahead, complete that online application, and you'll be asked to submit a few documents. So passport, health insurance, quite a few other documents in there. Nothing too extensive that makes it too difficult for you. But if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask us. And then once you've done that, indicated your program of study, we'll take a look at that. Our team will be able to assess whether you've met the admissions criteria for your program of choice and whether or not there might be other opportunities that you might be interested in as well. Once we have that opportunity to process you, then you'll be completing your registration for classes. That'll be the next step. You've paid the application fee, and basically you're getting ready for those classes. Our registration period for current students who might be interested is open. So class registrations are occurring. And as I mentioned, the 4th of December is that deadline for our new applicants. And once we get that and we're able to see exactly what you're interested in, we can process you and make sure that you're in for class registration with us. Our offices at UCCI are closing for the Christmas on the 18th of December, but we will be back again in office on the 4th, and we will be in the Sir Vassal Johnson Hall on our campus from the 6th until the 12th, processing registration in person. And also, if you're seeking that admission support, or maybe you're thinking spring 2021, it's very soon and maybe I'm not ready for that, but I'm interested in the summer or I'm interested in the fall, which would be later next year, then just come and talk to us and we're happy to assist you. But we're very responsive on our email, admissions@ucci.edu.ky.
Ms. Ashley, that's a perspective when you're looking at planning and preparation, and I like the notion as Camille shared, you're meticulous, and that's important because helping to guide us as prospective students. Sometimes we're excited or we may have a sense of fear and trepidation. We're not quite sure. Yeah. You can do the checklist. When I said your team.
Yeah. I can do the checklist with you. I can even sit down with you and just upload the documents as you see. So I can sit down with you, start from the very beginning, which is like the home screen as you see, and then the instructions that it gives you. I want to be sure that everything is completed up to date, as well as everything that you would have needed is there already. And I will even sit down with you, even giving the admissions decision right on the spot if you need it.
Right. And something to that, I do this not just in jest, but to strike the point home. Today is the 1st of December, the 4th. Today is Tuesday, that means Friday. This year, I know this year has been the longest century ever, but let's get going so that next year, whenever it rolls around, we go through Christmas and we celebrate, we really started off on a better footing, positioning ourselves for greater things to come. And as my mom would say,
it's very true. And I think for a lot of people that can be a lot of hope for the new year, is starting off on a better foot. And we often make, when the new year rolls around, we make resolutions. And I think that this year it'll be particularly important for us as we think about how we want next year to look, because there's been a lot that has been outside of our control. But at UCCI, we do have pathways for everyone. So whether you're looking at continuing your education or whether you would like to get started for the first time, we do encourage persons who maybe have paused their studies at UCCI for a year or more. If you're interested, submit a readmission form and get back on track for your journey.
It's never too late, huh?
It's never too late to find that pathway to success. And I think that 2020 has put a lot of us in a time warp, but we have to look forward and we have to set goals for ourselves, and they have to be measurable goals. So why not start now and come and, even if you need to come into the office and speak to one of us, as Ashley mentioned, we can guide you through the process. We try to make it as easy as possible, and that online application portal is intended to make it easier because you can upload your documents anywhere. If there are things that are missing that we need to see before we can make a decision, or before you meet the admissions criteria, say your program of choice requires an interview, or say there's a document that might be missing, still come and speak to us, because we want to make sure that you're on track for what spring 2021 is going to look like. And that really begins by setting that goal to say, okay, I am going to apply and I am going to start my journey right here. We actually had a webinar last night with a few participants asking us about these admissions processes for spring 2021. And I think what was really nice, we heard, we had interest in a variety of programs. And for anyone who might be interested as well, our Professional Development Center is hosting classes like I mentioned business basics, QuickBooks, financial planning, business math, time management, shorthand minute taking. We also have an English for speakers of other languages, which we refer to as ESOL. So maybe you have some basic or limited knowledge of English and you want to build on that and you want to become more proficient. We have those kind of options. We also have TVET classes like technical vocational classes, like our electrical licensing.
Our electrical licensing, plumbing as well. AC and refrigeration is one as well.
Fashion design fundamentals.
Preventative maintenance is another.
And we're looking at hospitality classes in the evening. So for anyone who might be interested in some of those type of topics, like I said, there's a pathway for anyone. And you mentioned we have postgraduate options. We have a graduate program. And you can also check out our website and you can learn more about those, or you can speak to us specifically. And based on what your interests are, we can help you with that admissions counseling to see where you want to begin.
And that's the thing, when you talk about those different courses, whether professional development, whether it's the sort of the traditional, pathway to your associates in your bachelor's and master's, but the culinary arts, for instance, Cayman, I believe, has one of the best opportunities to dine out. But that requires us to have excellent people in the kitchen, the support and wait staff, the sommeliers and get a start here. Who knows where that will take you,
Yes, and it's so true. We have a very vibrant student life at UCCI, and actually recently our hospitality school hosted an event on campus that was open to the community. It was called Culture Fest. This was a few days ago. It could have been last week.
It was
last week Friday.
Was it Friday?
I think it was on Friday.
Okay.
And it was a really nice event. They had the steel pan playing. They had the students out for the culinary program, preparing food and of different nationalities, and it was an opportunity to really showcase that vibrancy. We had the UCCI dancers come out as well. There's really a sense of connection in our campus, and that has been very difficult for campuses around the world with much of the public health guidance that's coming out. But we're very fortunate here in Cayman that we can have opportunities to come together and we can celebrate that vibrancy and that togetherness as well. And it's really nice and really warm. It really warms your heart to see our students come out and to be a part of that community.
And it makes part of what I think our students who may, for whatever reason, be studying overseas, that they're missing most, that camaraderie and fellowship, that opportunity to socialize with, their colleagues on campus in the classroom. But we have it here. So I'm thinking of that student who is, from the Cayman context, an international student because she's come from elsewhere and now is studying here, can physically study here, can interact with her peers, can move about, as opposed to other students elsewhere who are either online or doing a hybrid or have much more restrictions. So Cayman's a beautiful, blessed place, man. Let's keep it that way.
And it's an exciting time, especially for us in education with these challenges. There's definite challenges right now with everything that's happening around the world in terms of that public health guidance. But it's good to see the resilience in our community, and it's not just in our community; it's also in our school as well. We see that through the students and the hard work that they put in, and we have a wide variety of students. We have a lot of adult learners who attend UCCI, who come for classes, who are coming to advance themselves, and to Ashley's point, we're really here to help. Whatever you need, we're here to help, and just get in touch with us, speak to us, and we can tell you what's next and what's on offer.
Well, as we speak to Ms. Camille Angel and our colleague, Ashley Smith-Phillips, maybe ask then, you referenced, Camille, that student who probably a year and a half, 2 years, a time ago, put sort of that educational pursuit on pause. Maybe family or business commitments, financial or God forbid, illness, but something may have transpired. They want to restart now. It's never too late, as you shared. What would be that process? I mean, let's say it's, let's say 5 years, I don't know. Maybe it's 3 years, but does it matter if it's been 5 years, 5 months, or 15 years, and B, but what do they do? Take us through the process.
Well, with the readmission, it is that it has to be a year. If you've only been out for about like 5 months, 3 months even, that's not a problem. You can still start off from where you left off.
Okay.
But with a readmission, it allows you, after the 1 year, we can either restart you back on your old degree plan if it has not updated. But right now we have a 2020 plan versus what we used to have is a 2017. It's a very big difference because we're trying to coordinate with the U.S. schools abroad, right? It is that we then do a degree audit after you have completed just a 2-page document with us. And it is that normally students actually complete only 3 sections, because one of the sections, if you have not gone to another overseas college or even to, let's say, another school that's in Cayman, then we can actually transfer your credits if you have or have not.
And I think it is a really simple process, like Ashley mentioned, and it's a really short form, but it really does help us to see where you're at right now and what your new goals might be. We find that some students, they want to continue with their previous degree plan, and some students want to change subjects entirely. Maybe we find a business student who's now interested in social work, and that is a process for us to be able to begin the initial counseling. Like Ashley said, she does work in the background, taking a look at your degree, auditing your degree, and seeing, how far have you progressed and what's next, and assigning you an advisor and kind of just getting you started on that journey. And I think that sometimes, it seems like it would be harder to come back to school, but we don't want to make that process difficult. There are some students who they've been out for long absences. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied right now. They've been out for a long time, and they really just, it might be, like you mentioned, a variety of different circumstances. Maybe they're coming back because they started that business they always dreamed of, and they really just want to pursue their accounting degree like they had always planned. Or maybe this is someone who had a complete change of heart. They decided, I don't want to pursue my accounting degree anymore. I actually want to become, I want to work in the field of computers. I want to work in information technology. So I'm switching things up entirely. And it's really quite easy. And Ashley is very, you can see, she's very detail-oriented. She's very detail-oriented. So she can always guide you through that. And it's quite simple. She'll counsel you and help you to get started. And if you want to do something different, then that's what we're here for. It's really about this refreshing, renewing yourself for our spring 2021 semester. We have to find ways forward into the future, especially after this year and how difficult this year has been. We want it to be easier for people.
Right. If then we could then maybe ask, because I think sometimes many of us fail to appreciate value for money. I don't see that in a which way to make people feel funny, but whereas traveling in and of itself is a great education experience, studying elsewhere, whether for the whole time or for a semester, is invaluable. I say that hands down. But if we look to what we have at home, if we look to the value that it brings in so many ways, we're not away from our families and our jobs, we're not disconnected from our communities, but especially now. From that perspective, can we ask two things? We talked about the TVET courses and the hospitality courses and the professional development and the regular things. Are there any sort of postgraduate studies for a student who wants to do the master's or even, doctoral? And then secondly, relatively speaking, how we find about prices. But the other courses, masters and the like, are they also on offer? Is this the same timeline for registration?
I would say that for our courses, I think a lot of people might not realize just how affordable we are at UCCI. So we actually do have a tuition estimating tool on our website. You can take a look under the admissions tab, tuition and aid. And if you are working on being sponsored through your workplace, we can also send you tuition estimates so that your employer can see, exactly how much you'd be spending per semester. For our classes in the associate level, you're looking at $55 per credit hour, and maybe you do a 3-credit class, or maybe you decide you want to do 2. And that's for Caymanians, and for overseas students, you're looking Caymanians and qualified residents. And for overseas students, you're looking at $135 per credit hour at that level. So I think that a lot of people, once you do that math, and even if you want us to break that down for you or provide you with that tuition estimate, we're always here to do that. We have a tool that's also attached to our online application portal. So throughout this process, you can be aware of just how much value you are getting. And I think for those who are interested in those programs, we do, as I mentioned, we have a graduate studies page, and I'll let Ashley tell you a little bit about just to give you the listing of offerings. And the web page is located on you can go search on our website.
Yeah, it's definitely on current students, but we also have a little, I would say a little man on the very first page. It's just My UCCI, so current students as well as the new students can actually look at what we have, especially for payment options. If they're unsure that they want to actually pay that full tuition, they can be broken up into increments. And that's what I like about it. It gives you the option if you want to do it from home, if you want to do it from UCCI, just visit us, pay us in person. I really like it, because then if I don't want to do that, then I can actually go to the bank and pay through the teller as well.
Yeah, so there are multiple options, and that graduate studies, so for that information, we've got a variety of topics. We have a SEMBA, a SEMPA. We also have our HR certification as well, and we have the postgraduate in primary education, postgraduate certificate in primary education. So you're seeing a lot of that business through the SEMPA and SEMBA, and I think that especially these topics are particularly important to many professionals at this stage in their career. They may actually want to tool up to, pursue these graduate studies programs, because like we said, it is a lifelong learning journey, and we do have a specific web page for that. So if you want descriptions or any more information, you can also contact the director, or you can get in touch with us at admissions@ucci.edu.ky. And those programs, they are vibrant programs. If you want to know more about, if you are an HR professional, you could, this could really be this could be great for your career. And if you are in teaching, or, whatever it is that you want to pursue, we really do try to offer those options. And a lot of people might not be aware of our bachelor degree options as well, in business administration and social work and IT. And there's a variety of other options. We have a page on our website under the admissions tab. It's called Choose Your Program, and you can read more about those. You can see degree plans. If there's something you can't find on the website and you want to ask us about that, just go ahead and get in touch with us.
Sometimes we can't see the trees for the forest, oftentimes Saturday, whatever, so close to home and to heart, we ignore. But this may be worthwhile revisiting for some of us, especially now. And put that, one more tool in our toolkit that gives us a foot in the right direction. Well, Ms. Ashley, it was a pleasure. I can see the meticulousness in you. When you've done your career assessment profile, I can see what it says. Accountant for sure. But thank you for joining us. Any sort of quick closing thoughts you might want to leave with us? Yeah, Ms. Susan, I hit the mic. Where's the mic drop?
We want to encourage everyone to be mindful of those upcoming deadlines. So just remember that for new students, it's this Friday, the 4th of December. You want to get in your online application. And then a reminder to our current students that our class registrations have already begun. So take a look at the schedule, figure out what you want to do for the spring, and get yourself ready to pay and register for your classes. That can be found on the My UCCI tab on our website. So just search for My UCCI and get started registering. For those of you who maybe haven't had a chance to finish the registration process before we close on the 18th of December, because our offices at UCCI will be closed until the 4th, then come and join us in the Sir Vassal Johnson Hall from the 6th until the 12th of January next year. It feels crazy to think that we're this close to it, but time is really of the essence right now. Those deadlines are really coming up. They might sound a little bit farther away, particularly the ones beyond the 4th of December, this Friday, but now is the time to act and to really say, you know, I'm ready to pursue my pathway to education. And it's really starting a success story. You're beginning to write that, or you're continuing that success story. And then on the 11th of January, our classes get started. So Ashley and myself will see you in the hall. We'll also be in the offices until the 18th. And then, you know, we'll be looking forward to seeing you, and anything that you need. If you're looking for that tuition estimate, if you're looking for, you know, information about specific programs, just get in touch with us. It's admissions@ucci.edu.ky, and the phone number is
623-8224.
All right. Well, listen, thank you all very, very much for that. And of course, anytime we can continue to invite people to consider, you know, not just advancing education or just adding a greater sort of skill set and up tooling, but, you know, making them feel empowered, making them feel that education is more than the paper on the wall, but the importance of that paper on the wall for the prospective employer, but even for your own edification is invaluable. So thanks for making the process super easy. It certainly is, you know, an affordable option, and in this time, perhaps one that we shouldn't ignore too easily. Huh?
Yes.
Please.
And pretty soon, I'm sure there'll be reminders of when the Cayman Islands Government Scholarship application period is opening next year. And I'm sure there'll be more information coming about other opportunities at UCCI. So we'll look forward to seeing you again, hopefully very soon, or some of our colleagues.
Yeah, well, looking forward to it, because it's...
Thank you.
It's not something that we should take lightly. It's not something that, you know, we should ignore. And if it takes a while, it takes a while, but we'll get there eventually, if nothing more than just for our own selves. Enjoy the rest of your week. You know, may the Christmas be a wonderful, safe, celebratory time, and in the next semester, even better. All right. Let's pause and take a break, and when we return, we want to invite you. You may see a theme to our studio today, but you have to find out when we return. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
You know you've dreamed of that Mercedes, the smooth leather, the style. Ooh la la! With the Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzarama. Now is your chance to make that dream come through. Get your ticket for the Benzarama fundraiser at Lorna's Gas Station in Budden Town, West Bay Esso, Funky Tangs, Reflections, and South Coast Bar and Grill. As well at Event Pro. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzarama fundraiser supports site screening, Christmas deliveries, restoration, and social services.
The Benzarama drawing will take place December 5th. All Benzarama tickets bought earlier this year are still valid.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you currently a member and interested in the management of your pension plan? If so, consider becoming a volunteer trustee. Becoming a trustee is a great way to play an integral role in the governance of your pension plan. If you'd like to learn more, email pensions@chamberpension.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Radio Cayman News.
2 travelers found in breach of quarantine at residence protocols were prosecuted this week.
Following a court appearance via Zoom on Monday, they were fined $1,000 each.
There are an additional 3 cases associated to breaches of quarantine at residence protocols, which are under investigation.
Police are investigating another alleged breach by a traveler in the quarantine at residence program.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Did you hear about the big giveaway from Clean Cayman?
They used to be J&D Sanitizing. Now I hear they're cleaning everything.
My wife just went online, booked and paid for our cleaning service. Plus, we could win a Kimpton staycation.
What you say? Just like that? Get a sparkling clean house, then go chill at the Kimpton?
Clean Cayman makes it easy. Click, book, pay.
Visit CleanCayman.com. Book a residential cleaning service starting from $60 and up and win a free night at the Kimpton Sea Fire. Terms and conditions apply. Residential online bookings only. Promotion ends December 4th. Book now at CleanCayman.com.
Maintaining a strong mind and body through sports and general healthy living is a good course of action. But what about your spiritual man, your inner man? He has to be awakened, fed, exercised, strengthened, and led according to the will of God. So, have you heard the call? I'm evangelist Brother Joseph Joey Ebanks, and I'm inviting you to worship Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7:30. We are bringing the Word of God to our communities as Jesus commanded. Faith comes by hearing, so come and hear. Bring your own chair or simply park and listen to the Word of God from your vehicle, covering the Cayman Islands with the Word of God, one community at a time.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully, as you listen, and you're recognizing that we have much on offer in this community. And like many of us, you're probably quick to, didn't realize that. Didn't understand that. Well, we'd kind of dismiss a lot of things, not because we're dismissive in general, nor are we disrespectful, just that there's so much that we can't believe such a small community has so much on offer. Well, this is Christmas. And Susan going to sing that song after the 2:30 break. Oh, near Christmas. Come on, Susan, sing it. And in Christmas, there's a good time to fellowship and celebrate, to be reminded of the importance of fellowship and giving to our community. So honored to have Miss Maxine Borden Robinson join us as part of the Borden Town United Church Women's Fellowship. There's that word again, fellowship. And we can define it and we can find it in many ways, but when it's wholesome and positive and productive and nurturing and safe, and a setting that is conducive to building greater family and community, what a way to sort of bring the year to a close and to allow us to look forward to what is to come, especially in this season. So, Ms. Maxine, good afternoon to you. Thank you for sharing some of your time with us. Tell us about what we have on offer. Good afternoon.
It's good to see you, Mr. Sterling. It's been a while. and thank you for giving us a little opportunity here, and to Miss Norma as well, to just come and share with you the plans for the Borden Town Women's Fellowship. And it's the Webster Memorial United Church branch, essentially, of that Women's Fellowship. And exactly, I think the introduction was spot on, and thanks for that. It really is about fellowship. What we're trying to do, and it's an event that we've had in sort of planning stages for a little while now, to take place on Saturday, the 5th of December, at our church hall in Borden Town, which is just across the road from the church, and we're very safe now because we have a new crosswalk, which is even better.
There you go.
And it's all about church and celebration, really, of church and community, and that Thanksgiving fellowship. It's to take place from 10 to 1 p.m. on Saturday, the 5th of December. Mm-hmm. And really what it's all about, we were having a conversation, a few of us ladies, really one Saturday afternoon, just sitting on the back porch like we like to do in Cayman, and feeling really blessed that as hard as this year has been, I mean, world over, not just individuals, but institutions, everybody has felt, unfortunately, the wretched COVID. And just trying to think, we are so grateful and blessed in Cayman that we are free to move around, to even give someone a hug, where many people in the world can't do that. Mm-hmm. And just trying to think, what is it that we can do? Because the Women's Fellowship in Borden Town is quite active in the community. And this time of year, by now they would have had a number of fundraisers where they just raise funds, whether it's cake sales, garage sales, and give back to the community. Obviously, that was very difficult to do this year. And so what else could we do? We thought, well, it's the end of hurricane season as well. And we are so familiar with Cayman Thanksgiving and the wonderfulness that they bring together, church, community, family, share a meal. And we looked around and thought, we have so much just sitting, whether it's clothing that we can share, whether it's food, whether it's just saying a prayer with someone, just, touching someone who might just need to hear, I'm here and I'm willing to listen.
Yeah.
And that's really where this came from. And, during the whole lockdown period as well, we were all kind of tied to the computers or to a YouTube channel. Can we get a little bit of a church service because we can't come together, and that sort of corporate union of fellowship. And the two just kind of, I guess, organically grew from there, of we can still continue to benefit and fellowship with our community and give back. And then we can have the community come in as well for the church and bring the two together because, that's what Cayman is really.
Yeah. Something you shared, and I think it probably has not dawned significantly on enough of us. The physical interaction, the hugs. We'll see it, within our friends and family, just right within the circle that we were always part of. A reticence, a desire to want to embrace, but a reticence. Is that because we become conditioned? Is it the level of fear? Is it the understanding that, we're not sure what the science and all the other stuff that has come out telling us whichever.
Yes.
But when we look at the Cayman context, now we can come in fellowship and we can share physically together, respectfully and responsibly.
Absolutely.
And be in a setting, we can be mindful of the blessings that we have. And just that fellowship, that gathering, that assembling will remind us of why we are where we are and why we have, to whom much is given, much is required.
That's right.
And I commend you for putting this together, and it's with perhaps recognition of our historical context, but with the greatest deference to the women in our society. They've always been the pillars in our society, they're drivers, in our churches, in our schools, in our businesses, organizing and orchestrating, ensuring that these things are there for us as a community. So on Saturday?
It's on Saturday, 5th December, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Webster Memorial United Church Hall.
Okay.
And it really is, come, if you feel a need, do you need some clothing? Do you need a pair of shoes? Do you need some groceries? Do you just need to share, to sing a song, just to see people? As we say, we do it responsibly. We're still aware of social distancing. We're still aware, as you mentioned, perhaps we're a little conditioned now that before we reach out and hug, we kind of wait for the other person to make the first move.
Is it okay? Yeah.
Exactly. Even shaking a hand.
Yep.
So we are very conscious of that. Obviously, we're still abiding by, some of the rules, and we know some of our persons in the community are more prone to perhaps getting sick, etc. So we are very conscious of all of that. But largely, we can do that safely. We can come together safely and reach out. And exactly, the women play such a tremendous role and reaching out to community and giving back. But we do hope the guys will come and join us.
Yeah.
And it's also, please bring your children. It really is intended to be a family affair.
It's fellowship.
It is fellowship. We do not want to leave anyone out. And as I mentioned, it really is about giving thanks and being together and being grateful. And God has seen us through as well, another hurricane season.
Yeah.
Put COVID to one side if we can for 2 seconds, just living with the sort of normal day-to-day, the natural bits and pieces that we go through from June through November. And, see what our neighbors have had to endure. And Cayman, we're, again, very active in helping the Central American region and generally anywhere in the world that we can help. But, we also can help our own at home. As they say, charity begins at home. But it's not just charity in the sense that you think of. It's we're all in need of that.
Yeah.
Not just those who might say, I can't afford the pair of shoes. Has nothing to do with that. In my mind, none of us can afford a pair of shoes without God.
You see, that's the thing. We are quick to take much for granted because we probably recognize that if it's that pair of shoes, we may have heard of parents or grandparents, lament about the challenges that one pair of shoes that they had. We probably have, 1 times 100 in our closet that we don't even wear.
That's right.
But it isn't just a material thing. It's maybe a good way to be reminded of the importance of life and of love and of sharing and of giving and thanksgiving.
Exactly.
And I think, through this opportunity, Saturdays are hectic for many of us in many ways. I don't dismiss that.
Absolutely.
This year has probably created much more turmoil in our own lives, in our families, in our homes, in our businesses. But take out, a time, not sort of as a good way maybe for us to be introduced Saturday to what comes Sunday as a wider community.
Correct.
Come out and see what is there and avail ourselves. It's quite easy to get caught up in everything and ignore what is truly the beauty of the blessings and the bounty.
We have. I mean, we have. There's lots going on, and we're all juggling the number of baskets that I think every family, every individual, even every child is juggling. We've had a lot to deal with. But exactly as you say, see if we can carve out maybe half an hour, just to come out and see, and whether you need to pick up anything from anything that's there other than just to say hello and to get that community feel. And, like I said, during lockdown, we were all kind of glued to whether it's YouTube or something on the computer.
Almost individual.
Yeah, the TV that we could play a church service on, but we couldn't come together. And now that we're more able to do that, there is still a reticence to come out. People are just kind of, it's not happening. Mm-hmm. And, it seems to be across board with the churches. We understand, and it'll take time for people kind of to get back. But there's also a bit in there of what you needed during lockdown, you still need now.
And more so.
More so. Because as much as we sit here in Cayman and think, we can get back to some normalcy, though that normalcy will change going forward and has changed. We still need each other. Yeah,
something that you shared, and we are talking with Ms. Maxine Borden-Robinson, and it is the United Church Fellowship in Bordentown, the Ribston Memorial in particular. Mm-hmm. Before I continue, I know we probably should know our street addresses. I live down the road past the mango tree and, over that pothole.
Right.
But the street address, for those who know, this is going to be in the church hall itself, in the church
hall. It is central Bordentown. You cannot miss it at all. And the actual address is 266 Bordentown Road.
Right.
And we'll have some orange flyers up on the doors in the church and the church hall. And just up from, you might remember Miss Lillian's old store right there, and we've got the water, we have the the old building, you can't miss it, where Mr. Spencer used to have the coin store, all of that right there in the center of it all.
Oh my. And that's, thank you for doing that, because you played it right along, because that's the Cayman of past. Yeah, we have the formal stuff, but you remember where so-and-so is and such was and whichever, and we drive and we be a part of it. But something you shared, you can come and you can partake of what's there, but you may just want to share. You may just want to feel like you need to, do a little praise and worship. You need to speak to somebody and say. And we do a lot of internalizing. Some of us are very good at it. Mm-hmm. We come, and because of our jobs, you always see this persona, but we don't know the burdens.
That's right.
The weight.
What we live with.
Yeah.
Yes.
That on their shoulders. And it's not because they're false. It's just because they respect that, if you're not going to help me carry the burden, I can't bother you with it, right?
Exactly. Why share? Yes.
Yeah. But here's a time, just the setting alone allows you to unload, allows you to sit quietly in the pew and pray if you want, draw alongside somebody else, or maybe reflect for a second and go, wow, I got so much, running water, okay, it's maybe expensive. CUC, well, I can afford to pay that.
Yes.
We got so much that we are wealthy in many respects. Just reflect on that, and we won't be so quick to take so much for granted.
Exactly.
Especially as you shared, the hurricane season hasn't been kind to many of our friends and family just right across, the sea. When we come back from the break, if you would be so mindful of sharing a few extra minutes with us.
Of course.
Remind our listeners, come out Saturday. The invitation is there. It's only a few hours, and
come and enjoy a meal with us. Exactly.
I was going to ask you, share.
Well, it's Bordentown. We have refreshments.
I mean, there might even be some cassava cake, but
yes, indeed.
We'll see. Let me call
Mr.
Harwell.
Cornbread.
Harwell can bring me some.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to pause and take a break. When we come back, truly always enjoy the company of Miss Maxine, and to see the intellect and the true sense of commitment that our community has. Well, this is it. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
CG Britke would like to wish our clients, their families, our staff, and our communities a happy holiday. In this time of celebration, let us remember what this past year has taught us. That we can be in different rooms, different homes, or on different islands, yet never feel apart. Because we are here for each other and stronger together. We look forward to the new year, to serving your insurance needs, and to always putting people first. Happy holidays from our CG Britke family to yours.
It's a celebration under the stars with Christmas at the Castle, Sunday, December 6th at Peter St. James. Celebrate with Christmas carols, a tree lighting, and get your photo taken with Santa. Starting at 6 p.m., enjoy local food, shop at the Christmas market, and share the magic with something special from Coca-Cola. Admission is free. Christmas at the Castle, Sunday, December 6th from 6 until 9 p.m. at Peter St. James. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors and the Ministry of Culture.
Spring into action with your education goals at UCCI in the spring 2021 semester. Start or continue your degree, take a short course, complete professional training, or your technical vocational studies. New students apply through the online application portal by December 4th. Visit ucci.edu.ky/admission. Call 623-8224 or you can email admission@ucci.edu.ky to get started.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks again to Ms. Maxine Borden Robinson for sitting with us. I'm hopeful that as people listen to our conversation that there are a couple of things that will be very evident. It isn't just too much to give, much is required. It's incumbent that we recognize immediately that for all that may have been said about Cayman, the good, the bad, and the indifferent, that there is a lot of good.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot more that we can do individually so that collectively it has that lasting positive impact on the community.
That's right.
And okay, for those on Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, unless they're going to be here on the weekend, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for them to stay a little but come over. But for those of us who are on Grand Cayman, whether we're in West Bay or whether we're in East End or we're right next door down the road from the church, we can make that stop over just to say hello.
Exactly.
And fellowship.
Yep. No, I would love to, and the invite does go out to the sister islands, as beautiful as they are, and I wish they could join us. Yep. But it is open to everyone. As I say, it's a family affair. We want the children to come, moms, dads, grandparents, aunts, uncles. Come and see us. Come and fellowship. Come and learn who we are if you're not familiar. Come and visit. The church will be open if you just want to sit, as you say, quietly, if you want someone to sit with you and pray with you. It is Christmas. The music will be flowing. We've already tasked Mr. Garth to make sure that does not stop. We'll have pastor there, Reverend Forrester, and all the ladies from the fellowship represented. So it is just a beautiful time to come together, and we've had that Christmas breeze recently as well. So we sit right on the ocean. Absolutely, it is open to everyone, island-wide.
We used to do a segment here, and I've been mindful in recent times. Maybe I will revisit the church and the community. And you shared that a couple of times. This is, sort of celebration of church and the community. And not getting
exactly what they all came in. Not to cut you, but you're absolutely right. The church was the heart of community. It brought everyone together.
That's it.
And you shared a meal, and you look forward to the next time.
And I think, perhaps myself included, we tend to look at the church and the leadership, whatever we term them, and whatever the religion is, and all the other stuff, and we get into that, and so we don't partake. But just like the political directorate, just like the football team as the fans, just like the church, if we as the community haven't taken an ownership, haven't invested, haven't been able to participate, to contribute, and to fellowship, then it's pointing right back at ourselves. As many fingers as we may point at the coach of the football team or the first 11 or whatever it is, right? So being a part of that fellowship, and especially now this time of year, it reminds us again that it is the heart of the community.
It is so important because you really hit something on the head there.
I had a big
imagine your favorite football team, and all of a sudden they're too tired to get up and play. Oh, it's not happening today. If the NFL doesn't come on now, and of course we know it's NFL season, what then?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the church. So you don't get to see your favorite sports team, but you could be really, really tired, but you're going to go out and watch them if you can and get in the stands.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to turn on that TV. And it's the same thing with the church. You got to make that effort.
Yeah, man.
You know, and that has such a greater value and benefit for our lives.
I think what it does too, just like the analogy with the sports team, as the cheering fan, you invigorate them, you incentivize them, you give them a sense of encouragement, uplift them, so that they go out and they give it their all. And whether they win, lose, or draw, the fact that they know that you're behind them, with them, for them.
You're not on your own.
Yeah, the leadership in the church will always stay the course when it understands that there's, in the political business realm, they talk about social accountability and so on. It's the same sort of thing. But it's like going to church. We go for the message, but the one thing that we can bring is the praise and worship, that fellowship. So not so much what we're going to get, but what spirit are we bringing?
Correct.
So when we go into that, and this is the same thing, that fellowship. So you may be cutting up a slice of the custard top cornbread, which is a favorite
I'll make sure
of mine.
I'll save you a piece.
Susan's going to come get it. But it may not be. You may just come there and stand and say hello to somebody and have a conversation that you intended to be high and by, and the next thing you know, you're making plans. Haven't seen you the longest time. You know, let's why don't you come over and bring your children, or it could be, well, our elderly tend to do that a little bit more often, but for the season, maybe this is an opportune time. And again, I don't say this to try to discredit the technocrats and the scientists and all the would-be politicians and what have you, but we're seeing jurisdictions where they're being admonished by leadership. Hey, do not celebrate Christmas, do not gather yourselves.
Yes.
And we can here. No, in all we do, let's be sensible and responsible.
That's right.
In whatever endeavor.
No, we respect all kind of, let's just say, the attitudes.
Yeah.
And you know, wherever you are, the world is about respect.
Yeah.
And each individual has something great to offer. I think we all have our gifts.
Yeah, man.
And as you said before, many helping, but one can help many as well. And if what's holding you back is, they don't want to hear from me, what am I going to do? I'm one person. And, even with the kids, sometimes nobody's listening. I'd listen to a child right now more than I would an adult.
Yep.
Because they're the next generation, and they're the leaders already, and you learn so much. But it's, just on that individual basis, if there's something that is niggling you, troubling you, or even getting you through the door, if you share that, you might be so surprised. And then you cause that kind of cascade of everybody else saying, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then we start something from there.
I mean, I credit my father. He used to play football in the house with us. I know my mother didn't particularly. Small little ball, and we destroyed many.
You're going to break something.
And it was the greatest fun. Now, he would take whatever pictures off the little hallway, and we had fun. And he would do things in the yard and other stuff. And, never in a sense to put anybody at risk or, But he was not just protector and provider, but he was there as I don't want to say a playmate, but one more participant. You've got 3 people playing and you want to play football. Well, a fourth one, he can have it to his side.
Yeah.
And we did stuff, and that's the memory. So that one person helping many, that one person jumping in and contributing. Whether you're watching the pot just to stir it so that it doesn't stick, or whether you're going to go and pick the coconut from the tree. You can't hux it, but you can pick it up off the ground. It's already dropped. There's something we can do. Maybe you're like one of my sister-in-laws. You can cook from the appetizer to the main course.
Oh, I like to do that.
Yeah. I like to bring my fork. No, but thank you very much for joining us. And I hope not only is there, a resounding success in terms of attendance, but people will come away and start immediately looking at the positive and holding people accountable who step out of line, but also willing to be the example. So we can see, the respect, the responsibility, and the positive responsiveness on our part. Maybe a final invitation, Ms. Maxine?
Yes, no, thank you very much again. So come on out and to all of Cayman and join the Women's Fellowship. service of thanksgiving, fellowship, a celebration of church and community on this Saturday, the 5th of December, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Refreshments will be served. You can come and see if you need anything, whether it's clothing, food, a gift card to the grocery store. Of course, bring the kids. We definitely want to see them, always, always. It is about being together, fellowshipping together, and not forgetting the sort of most important person in our life, but God himself. And just come and fellowship with us. You will be blessed. The Christmas music will be playing, and I've put in an order that the Christmas breezes will stay. So I hope so. But we look forward to seeing you for the Thanksgiving Fellowship at Webster Memorial United Church Hall this Saturday, 10 a.m.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you to you and the Women's Fellowship, but the entire community and the congregation, and for extending this invitation to us. So
absolutely.
Hopefully our paths will cross again. Hopefully we continue to be safe, and we find ourselves in a very, very wholesome, nurturing environment that we call the Cayman Islands. So, all right, we're going to pause. We're going to take a break. When we come back, well, I'm going to see if I can invite Ms. Susan to be a part of it and host the show. She shakes her head. That could be a yes. I think so. All right, I thought so too. All right, pause. When we come back, more talk today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only two species that we have here on the island.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. Nearly 988 pounds of ganja valued at approximately $1 million CI lands 3 men before the courts. The men were taken into custody last week when their vessel was intercepted and 2 men jumped overboard. 1 man was rescued, but the other remains missing. The men have been charged with illegal landing and importation. In international news, a new analysis seen by the BBC suggests the goals of the UN Paris Climate Agreement are getting within reach. The Climate Action Tracker Group looked at new climate promises from China and other nations, along with the carbon plans of U.S. President-elect Joe Biden. These commitments would mean the rise in world temperatures could be held to 2.1 Celsius by the end of this century. Previous estimates indicated up to 3 Celsius of heating with disastrous impacts. A boy who was thrown from a viewing platform at London's Tate Modern Gallery last year has started to walk with a cane, his family has announced. The French child, a tourist who was 6 at the time, was hospitalized with catastrophic injuries after being hurled from the 10th floor balcony by teenager Jonty Bravery in August 2019. Bravery, 17 at the time of the incident, was jailed for at least 15 years in June. Drake, Bad Bunny, Dua Lipa, and The Weeknd are among the most streamed artists of 2020, according to figures from Spotify. Drake was the most popular artist in the UK. The Weeknd's Blinding Lights was the most played song in the UK, and Bad Bunny was the biggest artist globally, amassing 8.3 billion streams. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Your voice, your choice, your radio.
At KFC, we believe you don't have to share a last name to be a family. Whether it's an office party, holiday fete, or family gathering, enjoy KFC's fresh, hand-breaded finger-lickin' good chicken. The KFC Festive Feast includes 10 pieces of original recipe or spicy chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, tasty coleslaw, and warm biscuits. KFC's holiday catering menu includes buckets of hot wings, sweet chili wings, or chicken tenders. KFC, it's finger-lickin' good.
We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of the Lord.
Radio Cayman, this is how we wake you up in the morning.
Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Sing your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody, stand up and sing one more. Hallelujah, give your praise to the Lord. We are united in Jesus Christ. We are the soldiers of the land.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
There's a meeting up in heaven. Roll call. It's a name in the Lamb's Book of Life. Roll call, brother, sister. Roll call. If you don't stop shouting, if you don't stop dancing,
Praise Time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Your song flowed through my lips. Your work moved through my hands. Your thoughts stay on my mind. Live in me.
Maintaining a strong mind and body through sports and general healthy living is a good course of action.
Radio Command Sports Update brought to you by Evangelist Joseph Ebanks.
Have you heard the call?
Inviting you to Have You Heard the Call? Weekly worship every Wednesday and Thursday. Listen to the biggest sports stories in Cayman, around the region, and around the world. Inside the 7 a.m. hour on Radio Cayman. Brought to you by Evangelist Joseph Ebanks. Have you heard the call?
Covering the Cayman Islands with the Word of God, one community at a time.
Weekdays on Radio Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us as we invite you to be a part of our discussion. Now, for this final segment, it's going to be some open line. I think it's Tuesday, and if Miss Susan showed me the correct calendar for, 2020, it's December the 1st, right, Miss Susan? December the 1st, and it is still 2020. I know there was a time when we said, it was, oh, wow, excited for many of us to, when 2020 would roll around, and 2020 was always seen to be seen in a good light, especially if you're talking to your optometrist and the like. This year, maybe not the same. Maybe it'll go down as one of those things that you'll retire this year after this. But despite the reminder that Mother Nature will do as she wants, as we have officially come to the close of the hurricane season, we'll still get weather notifications for something out there. If you're tuned in last evening, right at the top of the 7 p.m. hour, JJ Iceman reminded us that there's still some weather there. So we say that to perhaps get us to appreciate that we may have planned and programmed, have got it all strategized and structured that this is how it is. Much of the plans of man, but where is it for you? Well, I want to hear from you. I want you to invite your friends and family to draw near, and we want you to call and share your thoughts with us. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. As important as it is to always be optimistic and positive, as always, put the best foot forward in a very productive manner, I think it's equally important to hold, people in a position of authority accountable, to remind them that it's incumbent upon them that they always act honorable, that they have a high sense of integrity and ethics, and an ethos that exhibits and exudes, at this level of competence, but also humility. And from them, there is a great expectation that they are, because of the position of leadership, that they are expected, that they are required to act accordingly. But are we willing to, reward mediocrity? And even though I don't use the phrase much, give them a blade too easily. Let them slip and slide and get away with all the things because nobody seems to want to hold them accountable because they have acted for so long with impunity. No more, I say. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. This could be a year of great things, and it doesn't always have to be negative. And as we close it out, it could even get even better. All right, 1-800-534-8255. Let's pick up the first of these calls. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, good to hear from you. How are you today, my friend?
I'm very thankful,
My brother, is always a pleasure, man. I always believe that you are very instructive in the things you share.
Yes, Dwayne, I have a grave concern as it relates to these travelers because we got 8 more again positive.
8 more again? 6,
we're just importing these people here, and a lot of them are not Caymanians. And this thing about self-quarantine at your own home, we can see that that's not working. We are constantly being hearing of the police investigating this breach or that breach. Now, someone's got to get a grip on this and and say enough is enough, and only allow people to quarantine where the government facilities are, because the government-run facilities has been right on point.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get rid of those. You can't get rid of those facilities.
Right.
On scale.
I think remember some months back when you called in with such insight and such a forewarning almost that what if, as you shared, someone came here, whether maliciously, whether just unintentionally, stepped into a community, whether they chose to not abide by the rules, or whether they did so sort of ignorantly, and the impact that it could have in a community if they created some panic or some spread. And I think it's unfortunate that the wisdom that you sort of relayed to us fell on deaf ears, as we see now.
I mean, and half of these travelers are coming in from England, and we're raising in England. I mean, but we're just we're just approving anybody seemingly who want to come.
But someone asked, if we were to bring people in, whether we were to close the borders or put restrictions on, whichever, maybe we'll table that for a second. But if we were bringing people in and they didn't have any family connections on Ireland, whether they're Caymanian, whether they're permanent resident, work permit holder, but they didn't have a home which this can stay where all the people that they're coming to look for can be sort of housed in that time, that they then should be required to stay, as you shared, in an approved facility run by the government at the traveler's expense. Do you think such a move would be better? So, for example, a person is bringing back his girlfriend or boyfriend. It's 2020. Who knows what these days are like? Or a child is coming back home, or a spouse, or a family member, or something, and they stay in a home, as opposed to someone who's just coming to vacation, to visit, or to whichever. Should those people who don't have any connections, should they then be required to stay in a government facility, and then the others would have to stay in the household with the family, and they all stay in the same space? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the situation is that if someone is coming in to go into a home that is already occupied, then that entire household, as I get it, or as pragmatic as it should be, should quarantine with that individual. That is a sacrifice that those persons that are living there has to. That's something they have to sacrifice. If they're so hell bent on them coming, then that is exactly what needs to be done. Yeah.
I mean, it is. Well, actually, I've heard a couple of sort of things relayed where people have come back, and as they bring in groceries and supplies and so on, there is a legitimate level of interaction. Now, still that required level of distancing, but there is some interaction of sort. That may occur among some responsible people, but maybe those that are less responsible may say, oh, just a quick, nanosecond hug, and that's fine. Or they may step into the thing. So are we at risk, as you're saying, with continuing the flights from England with the reportedly increases that we're seeing there? I mean, they just took and imprisoned their population again the other day on the house arrest that just ended shortly, right? So what are we doing?
So I'm wondering the government done such a magnificent job on the initial stages of this thing here to keep it to where we can go around and we can shake each other's hands now, right? And other parts of the world does not have that fortune. And so I don't know why we're so hell bent on bringing in all these people from England. I mean, that seems to be the flight that is coming in that's carrying the 200 knots and stuff like that. I mean, it is nonsense. It needs to stop until we get some vaccine that we can get the population here. If I'm correct, it's seemingly between now and say February, we should be in possession of a vaccine. Is it going to kill us to say we're not importing nobody does here until after that time? I mean, let's face it. What it is the people that we're bringing back here. They had the opportunity to be back here a long time ago. Why we're waiting until it's infested to the stage where they're locking down over there in England. You need to somebody's got to. I mean, not somebody. The premier has got to step up now and make an informed decision. We were getting these 8 more cases again, and then it's just a matter of time before it's coming to spread. Just a matter of time.
But is that the plan? I mean, they're bringing it enough so that we can impose more restrictions and then put everybody back on the house arrest. I mean,
well, they're gonna lock me up. That's for sure. They just gonna lock me up.
Well, remember they have the military.
I've done my part.
Yeah.
I've done my part, right? My part when the premier and them came out and they said they want you to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
I've done my part. Like many thousands of Caymanians did. They did their part. Yeah, we had a couple of people here and there that broke the curfew, but for the greatest part, the Cayman people stood strong and followed the instructions of the leaders, right? And now the leaders that are allowing all of these people to come in here, and we're just getting more and more. And I don't care, Dwayne. They can tell me what they want to tell me about this monitoring system. There is some flaw in this monitoring system because we just see it over the weekend.
Right. But remember, you relayed very early on, and you know why this is so evident is that someone called me and referenced the caller, and by the comments the caller made, I realized that it was, even though they didn't know who was the caller, it was you that called. Said that there was an individual or individuals who had reported on their own initiative
That's correct.
that the monitoring device wasn't working. Can you please come in and check? And luckily, as you shared, those individuals were sufficiently responsible, stayed within, the parameters, but nobody showed up to deal with the issue in a reasonable time. Now, what happens when, as you mentioned, the individuals aren't as responsible and civic-minded?
Exactly. And then that is when you're going to get them. It's just a matter of them going out there and infecting one or two people, and you can have thousands on your hand within a matter of less than no time, because everybody now has that callous feeling that, well, it's not here, it's not within the community, so business as usual, right?
Well, I think
anyway, I'll leave you there.
Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing, and I hope, like you, many would continue to think and would question and would hold, those of us in leadership accountable, and be, not be too quick to forget that sometimes the guy, who did one thing one time is the same guy who's doing something else now. So let's not let him off easily. Hey, thank you very much, my friend. We're going to pause and take a break. Miss Susan's always in charge, with her wonderful raid as we come back from more.
Your worldwide movers and freight forwarders continues to work hard to improve their expertise to provide you with the first-class service you have come to expect. Now, together with Consolidated Freight Line, CFL, the specialist in logistical and global cargo solutions, customers can rely on an expanded team of moving professionals that gets the job done in a timely manner. Whether it's your prized possessions, full container loads, less than container loads, ro-ro cargo, or construction equipment, from door to port services, or across the oceans, from destinations such as the US, Canada, Asia, the Caribbean, Central and South America, among others. Miracle Brokers and CFL Combined Networks offers hundreds of expert connections that take the stress out of moving and shipping services. Call today for your free estimate, 949-5989. You can also log on to www.miraclebrokers.com. Miracle Brokers is located at the end of Kingbird Road, just past CUC. Miracle Brokers, the art of packing and moving, 949-5989.
Country
classics. One night of love don't make up for 6 nights alone.
No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried. You cheating heart. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt.
I'm a honky-tonk man.
Country
classics.
She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time tonight. On a Sunday morning sidewalk.
If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
I'm so lonesome I could cry.
I'd love to wake up in your arms tomorrow,
but I'm so
this Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Country
Classics.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for listening. Thanks for calling and sharing as we go to our phones. Welcome. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
How
So
are you?
afraid of losing you again.
But you wait till tomorrow because it's almost Saturday already. I can't just wait, man.
Can you imagine? Well, that caller just started trying to say to him, that's Cameron.
Mm.
You know, all that he was saying is so true, but that's Cameron. We always wait until the last minute to nip the bud when you're ready.
Mm.
But really what I called you for, Sterling, I was just wondering if you hear anything about us having a big meeting, when we're going to have a big meeting again, you know, on the island.
Mm.
And Sterling, I can't understand how they told us that we can drop the mask if we want to continue, we can, but the kids on the buses need to wear the mask when they're on the bus. And when they're in school, and as they step off the bus, they rip the mask off. So when
But as you're sharing, I mean, so on the bus, but in school then it's different. So on the bus they have to wear the mask, but once they step off onto the school compound, then it's different. They can rip the mask off.
Exactly. And there they are, hugging and playing and carrying on, and no mask on.
Well, maybe they sanitize the school grounds, you know, and they got the air all, you know, sterilized and everything now.
Well, we'll see what happens 40
I don't
years
know.
out.
Sometimes, anyway, I'll hold that thought for a second, but you wonder if common sense not going out the window.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's really what the government had to say, because we really know what's going on with these kids wearing these masks when they're on the bus. And when they're off, they don't have to wear the mask. And, you know, we are stifling with the mask on, and they're pulling it up and down, up and down, up and down, and there you are constantly, you know, asking them to keep that mask about their nose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be very stressful, because all you can hear, oh, well, they ain't wearing no mask here and there. Well, you got to wear a mask. I said, well, you're going to ask the government whether they're wearing a mask on the bus. So I can't answer that question. We just say we have to wear a mask.
All right.
But I was wondering.
Well,
Pardon?
I was going to ask you, are you hearing anything? It's been alleged that the vaccine, the one that they got to put in super cold storage, has arrived on the island. What's that? Yeah, is that the one by Pfizer? Yeah, one of the vaccines now, was it last weekend or so? Apparently it arrived on the island, waiting to be administered. Once the go ahead is a given.
Here in Cayman?
Yeah, in Cayman, yeah.
I never heard anything.
Okay, well, maybe we'll hear about it after the fact. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
I guess after all of the other one got it, we know there's someone on the island, and Tom, Dick, and Harry got it first.
Yeah, well, like what was a joke, but maybe it might be the best way to go. You know, if the best way to find out is give it to the politicians and all their closest supporters, and if it's safe, then it's be good. If it's not safe, it's still good. I mean, they should stand in line. You know.
Really? You said it right.
Well, I mean, someone got to say it, right? I don't know why. I begin to wonder sometimes.
Sometimes I begin to wonder too, but really, truly serious. We need to have a brief meeting to find out what's going on, because we getting all these people now who is becoming positive, and who expense it is to keep these people on quarantine for 14 days. Is it our government?
Right.
Or if they're not government workers, or is it the government paying for everybody, or those that come in here taking their own rate and making this payment? And that gentleman here, you know who it was, he's coming from England. But I believe what's happening there, Sterling, flights are going to England, and people are catching flights coming to the Cayman Island on that British flight.
Yeah, well, you move about your community and you go into the shops just specifically, you'll see a lot of new faces and people who obviously are unfamiliar with the country. So as a couple have questioned, are these quote-unquote, tourists who are coming for an extended stay, to kind of give a little boost to the economy? If that's the case, the question about lives over money, what was important, we have to wonder if that's been revisited. we also have to question to what extent, there is a level of trust and confidence in governments and leadership and the like. I mean, getting information is one thing, but is it accurate and timely? Is it trustworthy? And are the people credible and competent?
Yeah. Sterling, I don't know what's going to happen about this vaccine, and our borders opening back up. But right now, Sterling, it's not true. I don't know how long government going to be able to do what they're doing to protect the island. And if anything will break loose, we going to be the one here without any food and water to drink.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, and I think it's important to recognize that I'm probably very, very positive and optimistic, right? That's just my nature, thank God for that. But if you do a quick analysis of the reality, what we're seeing, just in the U.S. alone, we're seeing media reports that millions and millions of people now are being sort of dependent on food banks to be fed, right? We're seeing the interruption, as they're using the term as euphemism, in food supply because factories can't operate at capacity and the like. And then we're seeing a push to increase our population, and we're seeing money being the order of the day. So how long before we could face a food shortage here? This is not to panic people, but just to get us prepared and to be proactive. But
exactly.
Let me ask the question: if there is a vaccine, and what if it's forced vaccination? How would you feel about that?
If it's a forced vaccination?
Yeah.
Boy, Sterling, I really can't answer that question. All I have to say is that we have to be very vigilant and make that decision on our own. And if it's a 50-50 or a 75-25, well, I think I got to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, let me ask it this way then. What if it's not a forced vaccination, but they say if you want to move from West Bay to East End, from Cayman back to Grand Cayman, you want to get from on a Cayman Airways flight or the BA flight, you better take the vaccination. So you're not forced to take it, but you can't go anywhere unless you do. What then?
Well, I'm not going there. I'll stay right here.
Okay, fair enough. But then you got... See, why I'm saying this is that it's sad that we got people in position who have little or no, seemingly, semblance of humility and respect for the wider populace, whether they're in Cayman or whether they're in some other part of the world. And we got otherwise seemingly intelligent people who sit with seemingly every finger in their eyes and in their ears and not living and asking and willing to question or comment or say, just take things blindly. You go fishing, right? You throw your line. Maybe you don't catch that, you throw it on the other side. If you don't catch that, you change your bait, change your hook. Maybe you shift your anchor and go to another spot. You try something different, right? And then you come back home and you reevaluate. Well, where is the common sense, the civility, and the seamless sense of some of us? If you look at the physicians and the scientists, we're told to follow the science across the globe, who are asking, who are commenting, who are, questioning. Vaccinations, what was that one? Smallpox, a century. Took 100 years to get it. This one is being rushed through in a matter of days.
Weeks and months.
Yeah, it's been administered. If you listen to what they're saying, even the strongest scientist, what was the one reported the other day? This isn't going to be a walk in the park. This isn't going to be something in terms of the side effects.
So you heard what ingredients are in it? Look what I'm telling us what ingredients are.
Well, we're too stupid to know anything. We're not supposed to ask questions, but we're supposed to accept and follow blindly. You got a young child, right? And you go for your vaccinations as we, as responsible parents, try to do. And the little child has a little ache and a little soreness and a little redness. We feel bad. Pray that it's all good and nothing happens. But what if you now get this injection and you end up dead? Or some would say worse. I mean, the people in position need to start recognizing that we're not all fools,
Exactly.
Anyway, maybe they just don't have no respect. And sometimes they may need a good sapapa. Who knows? Huh?
I guess good whopping. Good leather belt.
Maybe a choo-choo whip soaked in salt water. I don't know. We can see what happens.
Soaked in salt water, exactly.
Yeah, boy.
Anyway. Sterling.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I hope the government comes up before Christmas and give us an update, because when we get too many people here coming out becoming positive, and it's going to break out. And when we break out, we ain't got nowhere to run.
Well, maybe the update they can give us would be a good Christmas gift, but anyway, I would say that for tomorrow. I don't know why. It's just a time for us to, draw close in prayer and stop being like sheep to the slaughter. But you be safe out there, and not just, with this thing that we got to wear a mask about, but in your movings and your comings and your goings and, ups and downs of the stairs and the like. All right?
Thank you so much. You have a great one, too.
You too, Mom. God bless. Hey, listen, God gave us a brain. God asked us to think, but He also asked us to use our hands and hearts to be of service. Now, for many of us, we're just so arrogant and condescending that we can't even see anything because there's no humility, yet we seek honor. And there's no integrity, yet we seek some sort of praise. But, judge ye, lest ye, be judged well. Let's see what tomorrow brings, and let's pray that it's a better day, and let's pray that we've tried our best to make it, as much as we can, as best as we can. Not just for ourselves, but perhaps more importantly for others. Can you imagine if we do our best and everybody does the same? Wouldn't it be better? Perhaps. I'm not sure. I think so. Well, thank you for letting me come back. And I hope that push comes to shove, that we'll take the ball and bunks it together. And when you sit by the table, you say grace and give thanks. And as you break bread, you offer peace to your neighbor because, you might be full, but at least your neighbor not starving. And together you have strength. Until tomorrow, please join me start in the morning for the record. Come back for Talk Today. If I can remember the calendar, we're looking at it. I'm going to start off the conversation with Luigi Moxham, and I'll show who else he's going to bring with him. Talking about Cayman Thanksgiving celebration. Now, that may be something for us to reflect on. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.